Once, there was a family of 4. Mama Boii, Baba Boii, Little Boii, and young Gali. Mama Boii was the heartbeat of the home, gentle, wise, God-fearing, and full of love. She guided her children with patience. Every Saturday, she took them to church. She taught them how to pray, to be kind, to obey God's ways. And because of her, Boii and Gali grew up good and gentle. Baba Boii, on the other hand, loved his family. He also accompanied his family to church once in a while, but he had dark shadows hovering over his head. The shadows hid deep in his troubled soul. He had tried his best to fight them, but no, he needed divine intervention. Only prayers could save him. And yeah, that's exactly what his loving and caring family was doing on his behalf. They were interceding for him without him knowing. When sober, he was joy in its purest self, playful, fun, and full of life. He took his children out for swimming, to dinners, ziplining, and adventures that made their hearts leap for joy. The children loved this version of their dad, his wife too. But when alcohol touched his lips, everything changed. The loving father vanished. In his place, a dark shadow, a man consumed by anger and darkness, came to life as if he had just resurrected from the dead. He turned into a monster. He fought everyone on the road. He insulted people without shame. Sometimes he lost control, even wetting himself. What a shame! Embarrassment, chaos, fear followed him everywhere. At night, the home trembled when he came back drunk. He kicked the gate open. He banged on the door as if wanting to break it down. Anyone who opened felt the storm of his fists like those of Congestina, his kicks like Bruce Lee's. His rage was just unimaginable. All thanks to his shadows that came haunting after his soul. Mama Boii knew all this, and she protected the children from it all. "Don't open the door when dad is drunk," she warned. "I will handle him. Remember, it's the alcohol that makes him do all this. But deep in his heart, he's a wonderful man and he loves you so much. Okay, my children?" Boii and Gali nodded. Every night after the chaos ended, she fed him, bathed him, tucked him in bed. Then she gathered the children to pray for their father. "When I say push, you say pray until something happens," she whispered. "Pray until something happens. Pray until something happens." Days became weeks. Weeks turned to months. Months to years. Yet Baba Boii stayed trapped in the bottle. "Mom, why isn't God answering? Why hasn't Daddy changed?" whispered Gali. Boii's voice cracked. "We're tired, Mommy. We pray, we cry, but he only gets worse." Mama Boii held them close. "God's timing is perfect. Do not stop praying. One day, God will answer. When his time comes." The children nodded, wary but faithful. Pray until something happens. Then one fateful evening, the answer began. God was gonna do something. Baba Boii, salary in hand, stumbled to Mama Pima's drinking den. He had enough to drink himself stupor. He drank, and drank until he forgot himself completely. It was time to leave. Mama Pima announced, "Hey folks, it's time to leave," because it was getting very late. Outside, the night was angry. Lightning ripped the sky. Thunder roared like drums of war. Rain fell like hailstones. At home, Boii and Gali pressed against the window, hearts pounding. They occasionally peeked through the window to see if Daddy was home. They waited for the gate to be kicked open, the door to be banged, and maybe, just maybe, Mama Boii expected the beatings of the doorstep. But oh no, Daddy was nowhere to be seen. They were getting worried. Gali whispered a prayer in her heart, tears in her eyes. "Please God, don't let anything bad happen to my daddy. Protect him." Mama Boii gathered her children, knelt, strong and fearless. She called out aloud, "Push! Pray until something happens. Pray until something happens." Back outside, Baba Boii staggered through the storm, soaked and shivering. He only wore a light shirt, no sweater, jacket, or anything to protect him from the angry rain. The cold cut through his thin shirt. He wobbled left, right, back, then collapsed next one overflowing trench that gave up her water freely to Baba Boy. The water rose around him. Rain pelted like daggers. He lay still, frozen, almost gone. But God was watching. God was moving. Something was happening, I guess. 5 angels appeared, disguised as police officers on night patrol. They saw the body. Stop! What's that there? Flashlights cut through the darkness. A man, barely breathing, soaked to the bone, frozen like a statue. This one is gone, one officer said. They touched his body and felt it as cold as ice, and they concluded that he was gone forever. All right, let's take him to the mortuary, the officer in charge commanded. They lifted him up and bundled him into the back of the police car. And that, my friends, is where episode 1 ends. Will he survive? Will God's miracle reach him? Will the prayers of a mother and her children finally break the chains of alcohol? Subscribe, like, and share. Comment push to keep Baba Boy alive in the fight against darkness. And for that person out there that you know is struggling with alcoholism, say a prayer for them. Just push. Episode 2 is coming, and trust me, it's darker, scarier, and more intense than you can imagine.